Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Study Prep Guys channel. It is nice to be back with you guys today on this video. This is part of a very much weekly content that I plan to create. As promised before on CSEC, we will be completing 2025 past papers until we catch them all, like the Pokemon show. Until I catch them. Yes, they are going to that. Anyways, let's start. This is January 2025 Caribbean Examination Council's Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate Examination, Paper 2 General Proficiency for POB Paper 2. So, the general format of Principle of Business is relatively the same, regardless of what year it is. But let's see, I have not checked out this document yet. So I'm going in this as any one of you. I have never seen this document, not checked it out as yet. So it's everything is new to me. This paper consists of 5 questions. Answer all questions. Write your answers in the spaces provided in the answer booklet. Do not write in the margins. You are advised to take some time to read through the paper and plan your answers. If you need to rewrite any answer and there is not enough space to do so on the original page, you must use the extra line pages provided at the back of this booklet. All right. So the first one is a diagram. So it says here, Rachel Core is the owner of Good Care Beauty Salon. Good Care Beauty Salon. The salon consists of two departments, nails and hair. Alright, guys. Um, the nail department comprises 5 technicians and is supervised by Julian Jones. The hair department comprises 7 stylists and is supervised by Kelly Scott. Kelly Scott. By Kelly Scott. Rochelle Core manages the business and is assisted by an accounting clerk, Maxine Maxine Stamp. So, use the information in the scenario above to complete the following organization chart for Good Care Beauty Salon. The title and names of employees must be stated in each case. An example has been provided for you. So we have the manager, we have the nails department, have the hair department. So first of all, this thing kind of be backwards, guys. So I have to look at it in a very much strategic manner. So we'll use green. So Maxim Stamp is assisted by Maxim Stunt. So if Rochelle Core is basically the main supervisor, guys, she's the main overall boss, and she's assisted by the accounting clerk Maxim Stamp. That means that she is a second in command. So that would be the accounting. Oh, this thing so small, guys. Like how, why now? Um, how is this thing so small now? Like literally. Anyways. I'll put up the size a bit. Maxim. So it's actually the accountant clerk. Yeah, actually the accountant clerk. Maxim Stamp. So that is that. So we have the accountant clerk, Maxim Stamp. Then the device me for just string down this handwriting a bit because this is very big, bigger than it is right needed. So the accountant clerk, Maxine Stamp, that is for the fourth position of power. So they say here, the salon consists of 2 departments. The nails department comprises 5 technicians. So the nails department is managed or supervised by Julian Jones. So the nails department, that is inclusive of Julian Julian Jones. So that is out the way. Julian Jones. And then we have the hair department, da 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 da. It is supervised by Kelia Scott, as you guys could see right there. Kelia Keila Scott. And mispronounce that word, Keila Scott. So that department is supervised by Keila Scott. So that's that easy. Bops, bops, bops. That is out the way. State the span of control of the manager of Good Care Beauty Salon. So they're basically asking how many people are actually controlling this business. Um, the span of control is inclusive of Kayla Scott, Julian Jones, and let me see last. So we have those two, and Maxine Stamp, aka the accountant clerk. So they when I mean like when they're usually referring to, like, for example, the span of control, they're asking who controls the two departments, and aside from the original, the overall head, but who actually coordinates the basic configurations of the business. That's what it refers to right there. So the span of control is inclusive to Kayla Scott, Julian Jones, and Maxon Stump, also the accountant clerk. Identify two potential sources of conflict that may occur. Um, financial financial dissatisfaction. You're not paying them enough. Financial dissatisfaction. Financial dissatisfaction, and then we have personal disagreements, and this could be outside of the business. This could be outside of the business. So personal disagreements that could be outside of the business. So we have personal disagreements outside of the business, and we have financial dissatisfaction. Um, Another reason could be facilitation or accommodation. Facilitation or accommodation, and we have another source of conflict could be punctuality and regularity. You are not arriving on work on time, and all these things would lead to a set of different conflict. Personal disagreements in the business. This could be that you have an issue with that other worker and what's not. Describe each of the following strategies used in the result of a conflict in an organization. Um, this involves, so when you hear the term mediation, whenever we hear the term mediation, we're usually referring to a bilateral agreement between two parties wherein both of the parties have they basically have this is when somebody, usually a third party, comes into play and say, here what I could both of you could basically resolve these issues with both of y'all having some sort of benefits. So this is a process of having a third party mediator intervene to assist both parties in negotiating an acceptable res- revolution resolution for both parties involved. This is the this is the involvement of a third person or third party intervening to come to to a resolute come to a resolute to come basically to a resolute solution for both parties. For both parties. That's what we mean by mediation. And arbitration, this is the process of both parties agreeing to an arbitrary listen to both parties before making a decision. So arbitration is very much different from mediation. Mediation is when they actually present a solution. However, arbitration is not like that. Arbitration is the case of the parties allowing other party to listen to their problem problem the basically problematic issues before coming to a resolution. So what happens is that in terms of like arbitration, this is like when our I have an issue. Both of us have an issue. But before we do anything else, let's listen to this guy. Let's tell him our problems, and from what he suggests, we will figure out a solution for ourselves. However, in the case of mediation, that's when somebody comes and say, "Yeah, guys, do this, do that." However, arbitration is when we, for example, if me and a worker have an issue, we tell this other guy, this third party, that this and this happened, could suggest something that we could actually do about it. That's arbitration, and that's mediation for you. There's four characteristics of a good leader. You need to have good decision making skills. Good decision making skills. This is easy, guys. Good decision making skills. Knowledge, knowledge of your work. Enough reasons. Enough good, enough good. Team player. Team player is important. Um, so you need to have good decision making skills and knowledge of your work. You need to be a team player. Um, you need to have the ability to handle complex problems. And there's some things that you could that a good leader needs to have. You need to have good decision making skills. You need to have knowledge of your work. You need to be a team player. You need to be able to handle complex problems. There's the qualities of good leadership. Explain the benefits of a manager adopting a democratic leadership style rather than an authoritarian style. Um, what are two benefits? What are two benefits? So one thing that does happen when you adopt a democratic type of leadership is that the decision making process is more affluent or effective in relation to the business. So when it comes back down to authoritarian leadership, you usually make decisions so fast, and sometimes, most of the time, I can't say most of the time, a minority of the times, those decisions are not wise. You just do it so fast, you do it so fast, and what's not, that it's not the best viable option. So you make the decision. Yes, it is, the decision making process is a bit faster than the, than the democratic approach. However, there is an issue that arises when you're actually utilizing the authoritarian leadership style. It might not fit well with everybody else. Uh, the decision making process is more affluent or effective in relation to the business overall overall objectives and incentives. And another point that I really like to highlight is that there's a stark difference, as I said again. If you're in a tour, if you work with a authoritarian leader, you might not feel comfortable working with them generally because you have to do this. You can't question. There is no input from you as a worker. You can't tell them how you feel. Generally, it is a very harsh work environment. Not all the time. It is good. It is good majority of the times, but sometimes you might not feel comfortable. So there is more comfortability when actually working with a democratic leader as compared to that of an author, author, authoritarian. All right, so that is out of the way. It's all right. That's C for you guys right there. So let's did it define the term entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone who insists or usually who wants to make a business or already has a business. So an entrepreneur is someone who wants to make a business, already owns a business. So that's what they basically are. But at the same time, there's a lot of different variation. So that is one definition. So another definition is an entrepreneur is someone who starts a business in hopes of making a profit. So that's something else. An entrepreneur is someone who starts a business in hopes of making a profit, or I could put in hopes of making or creating a source of revenue, i.e., profit. So this is two definitions, but I believe CSEC would probably be more fitted with this one. An entrepreneur is someone who starts a business in hopes of creating or making or creating a source of revenue, i.e., profit. They would probably be more comfortable with that being actually inclusive to the definitive terms that they actually are in alignment with. So, two characteristics of a typical entrepreneur: they're risk taker. They have the profit mindset, or the profit incentive. So that's two characteristics right there. Describe each of the following functions of of an entrepreneur in a business. Conceptualizing this involves the creation of a good or service that will generate profits. So conceptualizing is basically the process of them actually creating a good or service that will generate profit. This is just like making a good, bearing risk. Um, this simply means that the entrepreneur bears all the financial financial risk, i.e., monetary risk, if they fail in their in their investments, yeah. So this simply means that they bear all the financial risk on their own, right? So that's what it basically is. So that's out the way. Assessing resources. This simply means having, this means understanding the capacity of disposable capital you have you have as an entrepreneur, and how you can utilize it, make a profit. So this means that for assessing accessories, this means understand the capacity of disposable capital you have as an entrepreneur and how you can utilize it to make a profit. This means understand your financial position, how many resources you generally have, and um, this basically means how you could actually, that just generally means you are accessing yourself. You figure out the amount of capital you have. You figure out the amount of machinery you have. You figure out the amount of money you have in the bank, so you could utilize those available resources to actually generate the profit. That's what assessing resources generally means. Outline the rules of entrepreneurship in the development of Caribbean economies. Two rules is generating employment, generating employment. So one of the roles is generating employment. Another role is actually innovation. Innovation. So usually in some cases, entrepreneurs, get some outbreaking, life changing revelation, and in those cases, they actually do actually help the business actually flourish. So that's that. We have that out the way. So that's two of the rules that they usually have. So another thing they could actually do is basically invest in the education by the government, and this can lead to an improvement of the skills of the workforce. This can lead to new innovation ideas on how to produce goods or services, and that's in relation to innovation. But on a later video, I will make a probably longer elaboration on that. For now, I'm just going through the paper. And I'm giving you points, so you at home or you watching it right now, you could just elaborate on those points as much as you want. It's up to you, because at the end of the day, when it comes back to principle of business, it has come back down to your interpretation of the data, how you actually explain yourself and explain those data. So I'm giving you points so that when you're out there and you're watching me right now on this video, you can elaborate. You could elaborate. That's a good choice that you do have when watching the Study Prep Guys channel. You could have a lot of time to elaborate. And all right, let's keep on moving forward. So it says here, Karim. So it says here, Karim wants to open a restaurant to sell fried chicken in the capital city of San Luis. San Leo. Explain how Karim could comply with two government regulations or policies for the protection of the environment and or public health when establishing and operating a business. So they're asking how can Karim comply with two government regulations or policies for protection of environment and or public health when establishing and operating a business. Two things that he could do is number one, um, set up his business this business in compliance with environmental mental precedents. In terms of technology, so you could set up his business in compliance with environmental precedents. What does this mean? It simply means that Karim, whoever Karim is, he can basically just comply with some environmental agency to make sure that his business is complying with both governmental and environmental protection. So that's two things that's one thing could do. Um, Utilizing modern day technology that reduces health and environmental risk. So you could utilize modern day technology. We do know that technology is improving very much rapidly. So what he can do is actually utilize modern day technology, because modern day technology is catered for the socio-economical and even personal benefits of persons, in both terms of risk, in terms of reducing costs, and in terms of environmental safety. So that's two things that he can do. So, state three characteristics of cottage industries. Um, they are usually sole traders, manually made, and they are so stage three characteristics of cottage industries. They are usually sole traders. They are manually made, and last of all, they are usually self-funded. So the types of goods or services that are often produced within cottage industries are everyday the goods. Um, then we have man-made goods. Another type of good that we do have is accessory goods. Accessory goods. So there's three types of goods, everyday goods that you use. Like for example, within the Caribbean, sometimes that we do sell ice, and the reason why we do sell ice is because it's a necessity, because not everybody in the Caribbean have fridges, have these things to make ice. So we sometimes people make ice at their homes, and we go and buy it and stuff like that. Man-made goods, there's like goods that are created by people. It's not mechanical goods, or goods that are created through that utilization. So I don't know how this paper is like this, but I'll come back to those later. Anyways, let's see what it's trying to ask. It says state two advantages of small business operations. I'll try to answer it right here. Two, no share of profit, no share of profit, i.e., you get all the money to yourself, all the money to yourself. So that is one advantage. Another advantage is that you basically um the sh- so if you're a small business owner, it is more easier to handle. It is more easier to handle compared to huge enterprises. So when I compare it to like huge enterprises, it is not complex. We don't have a lot of personnels actually mitigating or going around the everyday handlings of the business. So it's less complex. It says state two disadvantages of small businesses. This here is a bit more easy than the first. Um, there there is little there is small amongst of funding as compared to large organizations. So when it comes back to this here, guys, you know, whenever you're doing a small business, you usually get your income from one place, and that is through usually personal savings. And if your personal savings or your networks of personal savings is low, the business will usually suffer in terms of restocking and in terms of mitigal tasks such as this. Um, Another disadvantage are the losses are more severe compared to large industries. This is mainly due to the fact of little finance. So within a small business, a person might actually invest like $1 million, and that is from their personal savings. So if that company goes through a drastic loss, there will be a significant halt on the business entirely, because in large enterprises we have shareholders, we have partnerships, we have multiple persons actually financing the business. And if one runs out of finance, there is more money coming in all the time, generating from these different shareholders, these different partnerships, and everything else. But if you're a small business and you basically run out of financial standing, you are at a very major loss there. It says here, Jeremy operates a small juice manufacturing business in Spicetown. Recently, he has seen opportunities for the growth of the business and has been considering expanding. State one way in which Jenny's business could grow significant initially. One thing you could do is basically market research. Market research, understanding your customer wants. Market research is one of the most suggested way of actually um, market research. So when you do market research, you understand the needs, the wants, the desires of your customers, and you will know how to better actually initiate with your customers what products to sell. And if you know what products to sell, that will initially increase your profit margins by a lot. Um, Market research leading to profit increase. So that's how the way. State one way in which any business could grow externally. This could be through advertisements, or social media. This is in relation to the marketing department, because the marketing department is usually involved for such issues. Explain the likely effect that expansion could have on the organizational structure of Jimmy business. This could increase the complexity of the business. So, with relation to the rapid expansion of the business, this could to lead to more complexity and a need for more workers. So we have that out of the way there. Um, so for the term, define the term linkage industry. A linkage industry is an industry that is associated with other industries That is what industries are. So linkage industry, at the term link, it means that you're connected to other industries. That is basically what linkage industries is. Explain one backward or one forward linkage in which Jeremy's business could engage. So there's four methods of retailing. So in relation to linkage industries, we have backward and we have forward linkages. So forward linkages. So forward linkages are directed towards suppliers, and backward linkages are directed towards customers. So with that in mind, Jeremy's business is a fruit juice business. In terms of so for the forward linkages, that could be like orange, orange, bananas, bananas, and probably like watermelon, watermelon. So in terms of backward linkages, this could literally be the fruit juice. This could be milkshake, strawberry shake. It really differs. So milkshake, strawberry shake, etc. So forward linkages are basically directed towards suppliers. Backward linkages are directed towards consumers. So examples of the forward linkages that could be associated within the business, that could be the literal products: orange, bananas, watermelons. Backward linkages are directed towards consumers, as I said before. This is processed goods, milkshake, strawberry, strawberry shake, and so forth. List four methods of list four method of retailing. So we have the online store on. So we have the online store. We have the supermarket. There's another way of retailing, and then we have these specialty stores. Specialty stores could be utilized in this instant. Stores, and then we have the department stores. So, so there is some other things that could be utilized in the instance. There's some types of retailing. Hire purchase. So hire purchase, this is when a buyer makes an initial down payment on an item. So hire purchase, this is, I'll just try to make it brief as possible. This is when a buyer, i.e., a consumer, makes a down payment on a product. And then we have the consignment. This is where a seller provides goods to a consignor who stores, manages, and sell goods. So this basically referring. This is referring to persons that buys and resells goods to other consumers. That's what this term means. So we have the layaway. And this is where a down payment is made on an item, followed by a periodic installments. So the layaway, so the layaway is basically like this. If you go by a store and you say that I'll pay 5,000 for this phone. The initial price is 15,000. So you pay 5,000, you collect the phone, you have it, and then you make payments while you have the phone at the same time. So this is when you make a payment. This is when you make a payment while make a down payment. Well, you already have a good. So that's that. So that is the initial answer for that. So, in relation to state four functions of consumer organization, one of their role is protect consumer rights, produce or protect. Sorry for that. Is actually to protect consumer rights, um, mitigate in consumer issues, mitigate in consumer issues, handle problems relating to financial exploitation. And so one of the rights or one of the functional consumer organization, a good example of consumer organization is the trade unions. They protect consumer rights, mitigating consumer issues, and handle problems relating to financial exploitation. And they help to resolve issues. Sorry, it's not trade unions. I make a mistake there. That's my error. To help resolve issues between buyer and consumer. So that's that for that. This is question 16. Venus Communication Ltd provides mobile phone services to the citizens of Peanut Island. The management of the company is concerned that the business is often openly criticized for its poor customer service. Explain one way in which poor customer service is likely to affect the Venus Communication Ltd. This is likely to affect the profit margins of the business. So it's likely to affect the profit margins. And how does it actually affect the profit margins? Because if you have bad communication or poor customer service between you, you're less likely to actually get people to buy your product, buy your good, and that in itself could lead to drastic and significant losses. Explain how online chats or service could be used by the management of Venus Communication Ltd to improve the company's customer service. All right, so with the utilization of that's what they said, chats or service, utilization of online chats and surveys, this could lead to the business underst- uh, leads to the business better understanding understanding the needs and wants of customers. So that's if you engage in surveys and online chats with customers, that will lead you to have a better understanding of customer wants and desires, thus leading to better profit margins. And I'll leave you guys to elaborate on that. Business technology. So business technologist term here is relates relates to equipments, i.e., machinery that increases production capacity. So so if you like, for example, in terms of like equipment, it relates to like improve equipment, improve technology. You have the updated machinery. Like for example, in the agricultural sector, we have these actual machines that handles harvesting, that handles these incentives. And with that in mind, it actually increases the production process and the production capacity. It increases production faster, efficiency, and overall, it makes the production process even cheaper. And that is what we refer to when we utilize the term business technology. So it says here, list four factors that determine a country's standard of living and or quality of the citizens. Um, Legal subsidies towards businesses. Um, Laws in general. Laws actually dictate that. Um, let me see. Improvement in technology and diplomatic relations. So this is four things that could affect the standard of living or quality of life in a country. Diplomatic relations. Like for example, if you're within a single market economy, when we listen to the term single market economy, we usually utilizing bodies like the CSMA, single market economy. We have the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. And these bodies usually assist in trade liberalization, meaning that you remove taxes and incentives on trade that allows for the free movements of good, thus leading to better transportational systems and even reduction of costs in government expenditure, thus increasing the production capacity of your economy and increasing standard of living. In terms of laws, that's quite subsidized. For example, in terms of laws related to in relation to laws, if if laws are against businesses and actually attacking businesses, these businesses will usually leave, and that will decrease standard of living. In relation to improvement in technology, if your economy is developed, it has a lot of technology that will generate employment also, and also increase standard of living by making life in general easier. Legal subsidies towards businesses. If government offers subsidies towards businesses such as tax cuts and benefits, that will allow the business to grow exponentially and increase employment rates. So gross domestic product. This is the annual production capacity capacity in your country. Gross national product. This refers to your expenditure to the national national bodies. So the GDP, this is the amount of goods and services that are produced within your country. The gross national product is the total amount of expenditure that you're expending or exporting to different countries outside of your countries. This could also refer to, like, for example, if you're bringing in products from other worlds or other countries that are outside of your country, that is referring to gross national product. Low levels of production is a major economic problem facing Caribbean countries. Outline two possible solutions other than education to this economical problem. Um, it's basic size of the country, and a solution to the size of the country is you can fix this problem this problem by joining joining. So you can fix this problem by joining a single market economy. So the size of your country, because if your country is small, you can't really by any means, you can't really actually, you can't really actually produce a lot of stuff, because the amount of population density in itself is very small and you have limited resources. The production capacity in itself is very low. So the solution to this is actually joining a single market economy, wherein you have smaller nations that actually pool resources together to actually face globalization and actually the trade surplus between these other countries. So that's one of the issues faced in them. Other than that, um government government rule. um dictatorship countries can make the process in itself even more difficult. Like, for example, if the government are putting or instating laws that are very dumb and very stupid in its sense, that will lead to drastic measures and even drastic incentives that will actually affect the people of that country and thus lead to low production capacity. A solution to this is actually through bipartisan regulations, elect a better president, basically, i.e., leader. So that's that. So this is the last question. Question C. It says here, explain two ways in which investment in education by Caribbean governments can lead to an increase the production of goods and services in the region. It increases the amount of skilled personnel in the region, thus leading to development. So if you're actually increasing, like, for example, in terms of like educative sector, if you're actually investing in the educative sector, it will lead to a variety of skilled personnels that will actually help in the role of actually improving the economy. So that's one of the benefits of improving education. Another benefit of improving education is it increases the longevity of the populace. With a general increase in education, people are less likely to smoke, people are less likely to do a set of things that are very much dangerous to health, thus increasing the longevity of persons within your economy. And that is everything, guys. You could elaborate on the points that I have given in this video. It is nice to be back with you. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bells for future updates. So see you guys later. Stay prepared, stay prepped up, and see you guys on a later.